Alright, we're getting close to some of the last Seadoo videos before we get this thing fired up and see if she works or not. Today's just going to be basically going through completing some of the bolt-ons, put the oil tank back in, the exhaust manifolds back in, some of the covers that were removed, hook up some hoses and shit. The next step is to grab the air box and the little knob on the engine with the hook, it hooks onto there. So this actually fits in like this. So let's get this put back into place, and then we'll put the oil container back in, put the cover back on the coils, and then we can start bolting the exhaust up. Getting this airbox on can be a little bit of an issue. However, if you shine a light down the side or even down the back side here and look between the carburetors, you'll be able to see if this thing's on the pin. Then once it's on the pin, you just gotta fold it over the carburetors, hook up this clamp, and you're done. Next step, I'm going to throw this cover back on and then put the oil reserve tank in and bleed it. Alrighty, once you got the oil container put back in place, you're going to notice that there's no oil in the line. That's because you got to go ahead and bleed it now. Take a 7mm wrench, loosen that up, pull it out, and just let it bleed. It's gonna take a while. Well, I got the oil line primed and everything put back together, tightened up. I'm not very good when it comes to patience, so what I did is I took this air line and a rag and stuck it in this cover here, then slowly injected some air to push the oil through and have it squirt out the side there where I remove that plug and get all the air out of it. That's what I did. I got sick and tired of sitting there letting it drip slowly. That is the proper way. I just cheated a little bit. We'll see how well it works. Everything's good, just gotta put spark plugs in, bolt the exhaust on, and then fuck, we're gonna be done this project. So now let's grab this exhaust pipe. It's somewhat cleaned up a little bit. Maybe I need to do a little bit more on that edge. And then we'll fucking install it. Alright, just tighten up the exhaust flange. Now somebody had silicone all over this, and it's got a copper ring, and with this special clamp here, compresses it and prevents it from leaking. So I just cleaned it up as best as I could, and I have to double check and see if it leaks. And if it leaks, I'm gonna have to put some silicone or maybe replace the copper ring. I'm not sure, but we will get it together, and if we can get this thing to fire up, if everything's good, we'll see if it leaks or not. This is one of those times a million extensions come in handy to reach down there. Oh, we're almost done. So to get that exhaust bolt that's on the bottom, that's a real bitch everybody talks about, I cut my 15mm wrench down short. You could probably cut it down shorter. I still want a little bit of leverage, and I ground it down here to get around it. And then between this wrench and this one, I was able to get it tight enough. So now just basically we're going to throw the spark plugs back in, tidy up some of the hoses, and then I think the engine compartment will be done. Well, here we go. I never thought I'd see this day, but the engine is back in place. Everything is assembled the way I should hope. I did screw up earlier because I hooked a line onto this one, but it was actually one of the fresh water lines that's supposed to go on the exhaust. But I noticed that because I was trying to figure out what the hell. So I corrected that because the line I had actually was on the back of the exhaust manifold here, and I had it connected to the oil, and that wouldn't have been good. So according to the manual, that's just kind of a breather, and the check valve prevents any oil from leaking out when it tips over and shit. So that being said, next part is the impeller, to stick the impeller back in. And then I think we'll be ready to start it, and hopefully everything will go well. Well, the impeller, I just washed that up. And then there's two O-rings up there. They're still in there. So it looks like at this point, if I'm not forgetting anything, I put some grease on the splines. We'll put the impeller back in, bolt it up, put the battery in it. What a chore getting that piece back in. I had to remove the outside of the cone, and then basically kind of got all four nuts finger tight because the shaft wasn't exactly perfect. and then snug it up to the shaft is just about the butt to go in. Then the impeller, I turned it. Then once the impeller turned and it fell in the splines, went in, so I tightened her up. So now we're just going to put this outside of the cone on, and that part's done. I'm going to put some 2-stroke oil in here just to mix it up, just in case it decides to fire up. The extra oil and the gas will help the braking. Okay, so I injected a fresh water hose right there, connected to a valve. Let's fire this thing back up and let it run for a bit, see what happens. I don't know about you guys, but getting that thing fucking running after the mess that engine was in is amazing. Let's have a fucking beer. Oh yeah. Fucking Miller High Life, boys. Miller High Life. What a relief that is. Well, that ends that video on the rest of the Seadoo install and first startup. Runs not too bad. It is running a little bit rough, but then again, the gas is about 5 years old. That's to be expected. I really won't know what kind of bugs I'm going to have and tuning that's going to be done until I take it out on the water and actually run it for real. And then burn out the old gas, and then I can start tuning it. So it's about less than half a tank. So that's not going to take much to burn that up. So I'm very happy that it's running. It's been a project that's been fucking sitting around forever. Got to get it done, get it out the door. I still got other projects I gotta do, so this is just one that's finished. So if you have any questions or comments, post them below, drink a fucking beer, and thanks for watching.